Now, I don't want to jump the gun, but Rosenior is saying exactly all the right things that I need to hear him to say, especially with the way the club, the fans feel at the moment. But that press conference I've just watched of Rosenior telling us everything we need to hear before a very, very important game against Charlton in the FA Cup tomorrow evening tells me that the mentality shift in some of these players. If these players are working with a manager who talks like that in the press conference and hopefully is doing exactly the same at Cobham every single day with these players, if they don't change mentally, their mentality does not change, their performances do not change, then if they're not listening to a manager that talks like this, and I hope I'm not jumping the gun, I hope these are not just words. And we've been here before. I remember Thomas Tuchel. I remember there were moments I thought Enzo Maresca had won me over because he spoke so well in press conferences. But I feel like Rosenior, I feel like this is different. I feel like he will be able to get his approach, his view, his ideas, his tactics across to these players. Before we get into the preview, make sure you smash the subscribe button, you like the video, leave your thoughts in the comments, all of that good stuff. But I want to talk, before we get into the preview for tomorrow's game, I want to talk about the two videos that dropped yesterday, both very centered around Blue Co, Egbali, what Chelsea in terms of the ownership can do. Can they sell? If you haven't already, make sure you check those videos out. Make sure you give us your thoughts on those videos. What do you think needs to happen with Blue Co and the sale of Chelsea, or change, restructure of ownership? Let me know what you think in the comment section. But I want to talk about something very, very important as well, because yesterday there was a few rumblings, a few DMs sent to me. And I want to just put the point clear, very, very clear, that I'm not trying to say, I am not the spokesperson for all Chelsea fans. I can only speak for me and how I feel and what I would love to see happen with the football club that we all support. So I can't tell Chelsea fans what and what not to do, how and how not to feel, what they should or should not attend. That's not my job. Your job is to make your own informative decision based on the information that is given to you by many other YouTubers, not just myself. But what I will say is, I do feel as Chelsea fans, now we have a responsibility. If we want to see the best of the football club, if we want to see the club being ran, and I keep stressing this as well when I'm talking, whether it's on social media or if I'm talking in a video, I'm not talking about performances as such. We have to separate the football from the running and operation of a football club and how it's operating and how badly it's being done at the moment with our football club. So we have to separate the two things. We want good performances on the pitch. Hopefully Rosenior and the coaching staff can bring all of that. But this is all about something bigger. This is the bigger picture. This is something that is happening above the coaching staff, above the matches, the results, the poor performances. This is happening because our club is not being run in the way that we need the club to be run. And that's as simple as it gets. So for me, as a fan of the club, I can't tell you how to feel. I can't tell you not to attend games. Maybe I was wrong to say that. But if you want change, if you want something to happen, if you want drastic change, and this is not just about match-going fans, this is about fans that attend on a regular basis. If you're serious about the football club and how it's operating at the moment, how it's been mishandled by these owners, then there's an option for you now to stop giving this club, these owners, your money, change the narrative. And let's hope by doing so that the owners wake up and they change something, they do something, they address the issues that many, many, many Chelsea fans have about this football club. This is not me telling anybody to stop supporting Chelsea, or everyone's got their mind of their own. Everyone's grown enough, educated enough, hopefully, to make their own informative decision about what they feel they should do in order to stand up against what they feel or may not feel is an injustice or just mismanagement of a football club. Let's get back to being a football club and not being a profitable business. It's basically what I'm saying. And everyone has the opportunity to think about it in their own way. So please, no more DMs, no more I'm not forcing the narrative. This is what all YouTube videos at the moment will probably be telling you the same thing. All Chelsea fans away from YouTube should hopefully be telling you something similar. But if you disagree with all of that, then still attend the games. That's fine. There's no punishment for that. It's entirely up to what you want to do. Now, let's get back to tomorrow's action. Callum McFarlane, first of all, has been given a promotion. He's now part of Liam Rosenior's coaching staff as one of the assistants. After 2 games, he was apparently very, very impressive. Now, I do want to say this because as soon as that news dropped yesterday, my first thought was John Terry. My first thought is John Terry. I'm thinking John Terry, who's worked as an assistant before. He's coaching right now at Chelsea in the youth setup. And I know he's come out before, especially recent times on the Obi-Wan Mikel podcast. And he's basically said, you know, it works for him. It's 2 days a week. He can play golf. He can enjoy his life. He's got his family and whatever. But part of me thinks, does he not want a coaching role because he knows how bad things are behind the scenes with Blueco, ownership, dictatorship? He doesn't want any part of that. But you just think, and this is no stain at all on Callum McFarlane, because he's done very well with the under-21s, and rightfully so. The next step in the direction of his career is to be promoted to the senior team. But you just feel with John Terry, a figure like that in a dressing room amongst a young group of players, some at different levels, some are world class, some are approaching or heading towards a world class stature, some are a work in progress, some need a lot of development, some are very young, some will be loaned or sold. But having a key figure, a leader, and John Terry's come out recently as well. If you've noticed, if you go on Instagram, he's commented on things before where people have said that he hasn't got the credentials. He's got every single qualification badge that you can obtain. If you remember his time as well, he's worked with Dean Smith at Aston Villa, so he knows. And he's Chelsea. I don't even need to explain this to Chelsea fans. He's Chelsea through and through. This man is more Chelsea than Stamford Bridge. He's up there. He's part of the history of the club. So I think it's a shame if there was an opportunity for JT and JT wants an opportunity to be a coach, which he's come out as well and said that he wants to get into management. He wants to be part of, you know, a senior setup at some point, and he was heavily linked with Oxford United recently. That would have been a perfect opportunity. And again, that's no disrespect to Callum McFarlane, but you've got JT there who defensively would be brilliant for the team that we've got at the moment. But overall, I'm talking leadership, vocal in the dressing room, understands what it means. You know, he came out, if you remember, and John Terry said, I think it was last year or the year before, the bare minimum, the minimum for Chelsea should be Champions League. And I don't mean qualifying. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Should be winning the Champions League. That's bare minimum. The bare minimum should be winning the Champions League. And we've gone into this part of the Blueco era where our bare minimum is top 4. Top 4 is the bare minimum. Where does that come from? How does that happen when you've gone from the bare minimum being the Premier League? If you don't win the Champions League, you go for the Premier League. If you don't get the Premier League, you go for the Champions League. Those were the standards when JT, Didier Drogba, Carvalho, all of these players were there. Michael Essien, all of these players were there. This is the level that these players had embedded in them every single day at this football club. A winner's mentality. Now we talk about top 4 like it's an achievement. I tell you something, I'd rather see a trophy at the end of the season, whether that's the League Cup, FA Cup, Premier League, Champions League, whatever. I'd rather see that than a top 4 finish. No one remembers the top who we beat to get a top 4 finish. Or if we did it on the last day or the fourth game before last game. No one cares. What I care about, what we should care about is what are our aims? Where's our standards? That's where we should be. And that's why I think you've got someone like John Terry in this group of players. with Liam Rosenior, who, as I said, the press conference he's just given has probably been the best press conference. I want to go back as far as say as maybe Jose Mourinho. I'm not. Maybe I'm just. We've had things hard. We've had Graham Potter and all the rest, but maybe I'm just on a positive vibe on a Friday. But I'm telling you from now, the way that Liam Rosenior speaks, not just about himself, but about the players, coming out and saying that, you know, he's got world-class players, coming out and I hope this positivity stays. Because I do remember Pochettino, Enzo was exactly the same, very, very positive, spoke very well. In fact, let me just show you some of the press conference now, just so you can understand why I am the way I am.
I think the biggest challenge in any club, in any team, is making sure you create the right culture, you create the right spirit, you have the right values. The reality at this football club, the talent levels that I've seen in the last 2 days of training, the ability of the players is world class. I've got a fantastic group to work with, which I'm very excited about. I have to say, my time at Strasbourg is the best 18 months of my professional career, of my life. The experiences that I had, what I learned, the people I met, and the people I work with here. I can say the guys I've worked with here, in terms of the overall project, have been nothing but supportive to me, have given me confidence, have allowed me to make mistakes, have allowed me to learn. There's always going to be speculation about how these things work. I've enjoyed every moment, and I intend to fully enjoy this next step in my career with them, and hopefully bring everyone at the club success. It's a tough run. It's a tough league. And we're not the only club that's going to go through a difficult period of the season. Every club does, you know, top teams, of which we are, top clubs go through different spells and different periods in the season. Hopefully, I can add my own ideas, my own stamp, my own voice. Sometimes a different voice helps. But the players haven't been far away. Manchester City was an outstanding performance. Second half, could have gone on to win the game. Against Fulham, we were down to 10 men for 70 minutes. We're in the game, in a really, really difficult place to go. We're not far away. And that's really, really important for the players to know. We've got world-class players here. We've got players who have won World Cups. The lads won the Club World Cup a matter of months ago, and I watched that game, and they were absolutely magnificent against PSG. The potential for this club, for this group, is limitless, and I won't limit limitlessness. You know, I want to be successful. I'm ambitious. People know that about me, but I always have to make sure we get from where we are to where we need to be, and that takes time. I'm not asking for too much time, but at the same time, you need to make sure you know where your process is headed. I just said you don't limit your ambitions. I'm not arrogant. I'm good at what I do. I'm good at what I do. And in every job that I've worked, whether it was as an interim, as an assistant, as a head coach or a manager, whatever you want to call it, relative to the group I've worked with, I've been successful. So for me, I've always wanted to be at a club like this. But it's not about just being here. It's about being successful. So this is the beginning for me. You know, I'm going to give it everything. I'm not guaranteed. Nobody can guarantee wins. Nobody can guarantee success. But at the same time, I've worked very, very hard for a long time to try and put myself in a position where I can be successful. My friend, I am so fortunate. I'm working with some outstanding, talented players. I'm paid well. I'm lucky to be in a job. Pressure is a privilege. There are many people in the world who would love to be in my shoes, and I try to remember that every day with humility. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy it. There's going to be difficult moments. It's not going to be all smooth sailing, but if you don't enjoy what you do, you don't do it at your best. And I want the fans to enjoy watching the team play. Football's to be enjoyed, and I definitely want my players to enjoy what they do as well. Yeah, I'm just very proud to be sat here as Chelsea head coach in front of you. I've worked very hard for a long time, and for me, I'm very fortunate. I'm mixed heritage. My mum's white, my dad's black, West African. I just want anyone, doesn't matter where you're from, your background, your gender, just to be appreciated for what they can bring. And if I can be successful, then maybe it breaks down a few things. It is at the furthest thought of my mind right now. I just want to be myself, and I want to be successful in every minute that I'm here. And yeah, it's a great thing. But if I think too much about that, I'm not focused on the enormous job that's in front of me. A lot of games, I work very much on our own performance as well. That will continue here. I want us to be dominant. I want us to have a strong identity where people enjoy what they see from us. But at the same time, you have to be tactically adaptable. And I work with my staff. I have brought an outstanding staff in with me. We have very strong processes with the group as well in how we how we deliver the games to the players, which they've learnt today. We'll get used to that. There's a lot of detail that goes into that. And yeah, everybody's different. I want to focus on the strengths of my team, but also counteract the strengths of the opposition. And that's the way we'll continue to work. Every team is different. You work to the ability of your players. You work to what their strengths are. I'm very fortunate both Jorgensen and Sanchez are world-class goalkeepers with their feet, which absolutely suits the way I want to play. But I'm not going to come in here on the first day and say to Rob to play from the halfway line or for Philippe to play from the halfway. It takes time. It's a process. I feel very confident I can bring the best out of my group in different areas and different aspects. And playing one way with one team is different to playing another way with another. I can be adaptable. It's about my players and their strengths.
I mean, if that's not to be excited about, I don't know what is. Because for me, breath of fresh air. That's exactly what this football club needs. A little bit of a reset in terms of tactics. Understanding that you do have world-class players at this club. Understanding that you're going to have to address a lot of things in terms of discipline, in terms of how they want to play. And I'll be honest, I get from that one press conference that I've heard that Liam Rosenior is not going to take much bullshit. He won't take the bullshit by the sounds of it. And he's come out and he said that the owners, it's a good... A lot of the questions obviously around the ownership in terms of, the job and the rest of it. But for me as well, I think it clearly showed, he said, I am going to make the decisions at this football club. And I think that's damning when you've got the likes of Pochettino, Enzo Maresca, Graham Potter, who in some ways or some shape or form have always come out afterwards and said that they weren't really given, the free reins, the shackles were off for them to make all the decisions at the football club. But Liam Rosenior's come straight out the gate and said, it's me. You want a decision being made, I'm going to give it you. So let's hope that happens. Let's hope it doesn't turn into positive and very quickly negative, controlled, micromanaged by the ownership. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But he said a lot there. He said a lot. He wants a lot of positivity from the club, from the players. And of course, he wants to bring some of that positivity back with the fans. And he can do that tomorrow with a win against Charlton Athletic. Now, look, Charlton are Charlton. Let's not speak too much about Charlton because we should be beating them. We should be beating them. This is a real opportunity for the players, more so than anything, to show Liam Rosenior, the new head coach now, why they should be starting week in, week out. Why they should be starting week in, week out. This is a reset moment for some of these players. You could even argue the toss that some of them that have been exiled, playing in the under-21s, this could be an opportunity for them to try and get back into the senior squad. I doubt it very much, but the likes of Cole Palmer now has to step up and show us the performances, show us the levels. The likes of Trevor Chalobah, who, yes, has been played very well, but he has to do that on a consistent basis. Fofana, Wesley Fofana has to do exactly the same. This is the opportunity for some of these players to make up for the bad run of games. What is it? 1 win in 9. This is their opportunity to do that. This is their opportunity to do that. And I'll be honest, I think being in the 4 competitions that we're in, let's take away the Premier League because we're not winning that. But the Champions League, FA Cup, League Cup, next week, Arsenal, next Wednesday. This is our opportunity. And Liam Rosenior said it right as well just then. This is an opportunity, just focus on this one game tomorrow. Then you focus on Arsenal. Then you look ahead to the game at the weekend. Of course, the protest is taking place. But this is an opportunity for some of these players to get themselves in the right frame of mind to kick on and go on a good run for the remainder of the season and try and get ourselves as high up the Premier League as possible. Try and get yourself into that final to give you the opportunity to win a trophy this season. This is an opportunity to go against Paphos and then Napoli in a couple of weeks' time and get those results to get us into the knockout stages of the Champions League and then try and go as far as we can in that. So this is the opportunity that some of these players have now. And I'll be honest, I don't think we're going to see much change. I saw a couple of predicted lineups earlier on this week. Credit to Reggie Walsh, Antwi, all of these sort of players. I don't want to see them tomorrow. Let's just get that out there now. I do not want to see some of these players that have not been involved in any of our matches for the last 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games suddenly crop up against Charlton Athletic. Because Charlton will be up for this game. Let's not beat around the bush. They're going to be up for the game. They're going to be up for the game. And I think as well, you have to remember back to the League Cup game, Cardiff, it wasn't all plain sailing. I remember a couple of seasons ago, I think it was extra time. We played Plymouth Argyle at Stamford Bridge. They took us to extra time. These are not the games where you tinker. And I don't think Liam Rosenior will do this in his first throw of the dice as Chelsea head coach. I don't think he's that stupid off the back of what we've just heard in the press conference. He's going to be that stupid to just put out a team that is mixed bag of unplayed players over the last 6 games and players from the development squad. I don't think he's that stupid. And I mean, look, if he does that, then yeah, all that positivity I had at the start of this video will be suddenly diminished. But I think we will see some changes, a bit of rotation. You know, the Arsenal game is a couple of days away on the Wednesday, so I think we will see the rotation, but not heavily, not 11 changes. I don't think we're going to get that at all. But this is a game where we have to go, and this has to be the start of a good run. Tomorrow has to be a good start. He has to get off on a good foot in terms of a first win. And it has to be a convincing win. This can't just be a 1-0, last-ditch game. 89 minutes into the game, you get your goal. This has to be a convincing, showing us that the last 2 days that you've been training, you've got these players playing and understanding what it is you need them to do for the rest of the season and beyond. That's all. That's all. It sounds very simple. It sounds very easy. But that's what he has to get these players to do. That's it. Now let's get into the predicted lineup, my favourite part of the show. Because I think we are going to see... Now this is obviously the team that we put out midweek against Fulham. And I do think obviously Cucurella won't be playing because we know that he's not playing. Let's bring on a couple of the subs that we may see. Obviously Dario Sugo has been back in training. We've got Fofana, we've got Achiampong, Tariq George, Mark Gui, Buonanotte, Esteval, Garnacho will be in there. There wasn't actually much talk in the press conference about team selection. It was more about welcoming Liam Rosenior. So we don't know essentially who is fit, who isn't fit. We know that Cucurella will be out. I'll be honest, I think this is a game where you actually show a bit of intent. And by that, I mean you go with a squad that unfortunately could cause massive damage to Charlton. And I say that with the greatest respect, but we need to smash them to bits. We need to smash them to bits. Just to stamp our authority. Just to stamp our authority. Not because we don't like Charlton, but I think we have to stamp our authority. So I would go with a very strong squad. I think Sanchez, for me, would be in for this one. I know there's going to be a lot of people that would say Jurgensen, but I think this is a game where, again, it's his first match as in charge of Chelsea. He's going to want to show everything in this game. Everything in this game. And maybe this is why he didn't take the game against Fulham midweek, because he wanted to give himself the opportunity to just bide his time a little bit and whatever else, whether that's wrong or right. Again, make your own assumptions in the chat. But I'm going to go with Reece James. I'm going to go with Trevor Chalobah. And I'm going to bring Wesley Fofana back into the squad. I really am. I think Tosin, again, another one who... Look, I mean, a lot's been said about Tosin. I wouldn't play him against Charlton. I think we need to see... And I'll tell you for why shortly as well. But we need to see a solid, consistent... And I feel like this is the most consistent we've got in terms of Fofana and Chalobah. I'm going to go João Heto. As we know, Cucurella will be suspended for this one due to the red card he picked up in the week. And let's be honest, Heto came on and he didn't look out of sorts. We brought him in for that reason. We brought him to the club because he's meant to be the backup for Marc Cucurella, for someone who, when Marc Cucurella needs a rest, or for this instant where he's suspended and he can't play the game. This is why we've got him in the squad. So I would go João Heto, who should not have any problems against this Charlton team. I don't care who starts, who they bring on, if it's Berg, Bree and Liebe. I don't care who it is. You could have another 4 people on that right-hand side for Charlton. He shouldn't have a problem with them. He should be fine. Now I'm going to go with Moises Caicedo and Andre Santos again in the midfield. I did like Enzo being in the 10. I did. I really did. I think for me, this is where I come a bit unstuck, because the way that I know that Liam Rosenior is going to want his team to play, you're going to have Cole Palmer pushing very high up. And I'm going to change this now at the moment, because I really want to bring Esteval into this team. I really do. I really want to bring Esteval into the team. And it's a struggle, because I know he did come. He played some. I feel like it was the game, maybe one of the games over the Christmas period, and he came on and he played on the left, and it didn't really work for him. So I wouldn't put him on the left, but I don't think we can have Pedro Neto in this game. I don't think he's shown enough. And I'm going to go with Gittins, and I'm going to keep Palmer where he is. And what I think we will see, and I think it will be Liam Delap in the centre forward role. I think he's worked with him at Hull. He's going to want players familiar that he knows in the team, which is why I think he'll go with Sanchez as well. But I think what we're going to see here now, and what I was saying before, is I think we'll see more of this, where we'll see Andre Santos pushing up higher. They'll have that box here. James will come into the midfield and cut in as he does. And then we will see a 5 attack here. I think with Strasbourg, when I've been watching them, they do attack as a 5 and they press very high up, very aggressive. Now, what we see with the defence when he does that is you'll see Sanchez, and he was asked this in the press conference as well. He was asked this in the press conference that he wants his goalkeeper to step up and almost become that fourth centre-back, that fourth defender when they have transition of the ball. And of course, when we lose transition of the ball, this is where I worry about Sanchez and our defence, because we have to make sure we can revert back to type A very, very quickly. And hopefully this is where they've been working on this on the pitch at Cobham. But I think I would go with this lineup. I think Fernandez, plays better in that 10 role. I thought he done well against Fulham the other day doing that. I think this guy here is so crucial. So crucial, and maybe we'll see more aggression in terms of the football, not in terms of his WWF impressions. But we need to see Liam Delap linking up very well, making space, creating space, splitting up that defence for Charlton. And again, Cole Palmer has got to have he's got to have a solid game. This is Charlton. The reason I would play him over Esteval is because I feel like Esteval will be more important against Arsenal, and I would also bring Esteval on as a substitute tomorrow evening as well. But I feel Cole Palmer, I think this is the kind of game where you want to try and give him some of that confidence that he feels like he's lost. Again, first game, throw at the dice for Liam Rosenior, so he's going to want to try and get maybe a bit of foundation and understanding of who he might want to play against Arsenal, who's going to have to continue to play on a consistent basis. And you'd like to think that's going to be Cole Palmer, but I want to try and put Esteval in this team somewhere. Ideally, other option would be to drop Santos, although I don't think he'll do that, because again, he knows Santos, he's had him at Strasbourg, so I think it will be Santos. But you could then bring Cole Palmer in as the 10, and then do you then bring Esteval on as the right hand side of the attack? I don't think that will happen. I really don't. Again, other option, Cole Palmer drops down to the bench, Fernandez comes back in to the 10 role, and then you bring on Andre Santos, who I thought played brilliantly. And I think the way that Liam Rosenior will set up will involve Andre Santos a lot more. I think Maresca didn't use him in the profile that we needed to, and I think we'll see a lot more of that with Liam Rosenior. I think we'll see a lot more of Andre Santos this half of the season. It just means for me personally, which we knew anyway, that we do have too many attacking midfield options with Gittins, Garnacho, Pedro Neto, Esteval, Cole Palmer, Buonanotte, who I've not even mentioned. And again, substitutions that you might want to see in the second half is maybe you bring João Pedro into the 10. I don't really want to see him as a number 9. I don't really feel like he's played that confidently there as a number 9. But I think it will be this. I think you'll see Cole Palmer on the right. I think it will be Andre Santos and Moises Caicedo in the midfield. And then I think we'll go with Enzo Fernandez as the 10. But what I want to see from our defence is that togetherness. So many times against Fulham, you've got one just not in line. This is how they scored Harry Wilson's goal, albeit offside. He nearly got a goal from it. And then the second one where it looked like he was offside, but actually I think it was Reece James, that was playing him on, or whoever it was. But we've too many times this season we're getting caught off. The offside trap isn't working. We're trapping ourselves with our offside trap. So we need to be in line, synced. We need that consistency in the back line. And I think we'll get that if we continue to play the same two in the centre-back roles. That has to be Chalobah. That has to be Fofana. I don't trust Tosin. I don't think we'll see Dezazi or Badiashile in this game. I hope we don't. But you never know. And I'd be surprised if we did. I really would. But I'm hoping we get the result. We get through to the next round. It's Charlton. My score prediction, and I'm so sorry to say this, Charlton fans, but my score prediction is going to be 4-0. I think this has to be an absolutely massive statement, not just from Liam Rosenior, but these players. Off the back of the performances they've given us, 1 win in 9, I want to see 4 goals. I want us to be bringing on maybe an Antwi or Reggie Walsh, if the game allows it. We should not be coming off that pitch 1-0, 90th minute winner, or a 1-1. This has to be a 4-0, 89% possession of the ball, 0 shots on target for Charlton. This has to be a completely different identity of Chelsea going forward. And I hope it starts tomorrow. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are, your predicted lineups, your score lines as well. What's your thoughts on Liam Rosenior's press conference and his early days at Chelsea? Give me your thoughts in the comment section as well. We'll be back tomorrow with more content on the channel. Hit the notification bell. Until then, enjoy the weekend. We'll be back soon.